Yeah, disappointed. I think this football team underachieved. We had a lot of success at the beginning of the year, and just for whatever reason hit the wall. So that's what we have to do for over the next month or two to figure out why we hit the wall and figure out moving forward.
When you talk about the underachievement, do you view it more in terms of what coaches and personnel didn't do, or in terms of what the players didn't do?
I think it's a combination of all. I mean, it's easy to look back and say what you could have done, should have done, but in reality, I mean, we did the best we could. But like I said, we just underachieved with this team. High expectations, regardless of, I've said this last year, regardless of where the Grey Cup is, they're hard. The expectations is to win and get in. And with the football team we had, we felt we had a really good chance of doing that, and just we fell short.
You made two massive additions in the summer with Nathan and Matthew. Could you have imagined that the results would have been what they were when those decisions were made?
Well, I mean, again, in professional football and football in general, as you know, I mean, it's not easy. Okay, so you can add as many guys as you want, or not add, and it still has to come together. Everyone has to gel. Things have to work out. And, at the end of the day, the teams are just not going to lay down for you. They're going to play hard, which they do. And I felt that the teams that we played this year, they came. I don't know why we're unliked within the Canadian Football League, but I feel everyone brings their A game against us, which is good. That's the way it should be. And I just sense that times teams don't play their A game against other teams. And I guess that's a testament to the group we have, because we feel we are a good football team. We just have to make some tweaks to get over the edge.
Neil, will some of those tweaks be looking at your coaching staff top to bottom and seeing whether or not you bring them back next year and if they should be brought back?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you got to, unless you win the championship, and even when you do that, you do have to look at everything that goes on within the football team. That's personnel, that's coaches, that's staff. The team that was playing in Saskatchewan on Saturday, that's the last time that team will be together. There's going to be change regardless of how the outcome was. And so, that's what we have to do over the next month here, and figure out what is the best step going forward.
Is it difficult analyzing, because I asked Rick to put on his co-GM hat, but he's also the coach, to evaluate the job that he and his staff did when he's in that position? How do you have those honest conversations, and who does it involve?
You do have to have the honest conversations, and coach knows that. I mean, he's been in this league long enough to know that everything is evaluated, and like he said, he needs to make and look at changes that can be made to make the team better. That's just the reality of it. And until you find the ultimate cure to win and win every week, I mean, that's just not going to happen. And the good teams find a way to do it, and I feel this is a good team, and we'll find a way to do it.
You've had a very committed owner. We saw that this year, taking the team over to Victoria, the investment in bringing Nathan, bringing Matthew back.
Yeah.
Just a sense of letting him down when, brings the Grey Cup here and you guys aren't playing in it.
Yeah, again, it's disappointing. I mean, Amar has done amazing things for the sport of football in the province of British Columbia. Obviously, the BC Lions being his number one, but let's look at what he's done for everybody that's involved with the sport. So, yeah, it's disappointing. It's an underachieving football team that is disappointing. That we know he's disappointed as well.
Neil, Rick talked about the fact that playmakers are needed. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at every aspect of the football team, and playmakers are one thing, but making plays is another. I mean, we sense to not have the ability to make the high-level plays at the end of the year, which we were making at the beginning of the year. And, but that being said, the team did get better in a lot of positions. I mean, we ran the ball really well. Our special teams was solid. So there were steps taken, but in reality, everyone else took steps too.
Given some of the sizable contracts you have on your roster, how difficult or how much of a challenge will it be to bring in playmakers via free agency?
Well, I mean, we'll bring players in. I mean, that's just the reality of it. I mean, we have sizable contracts, but so does everybody else, and we have to scour the U.S. and Canada to bring the best players here available to make this team what it can be.
You've been here a long, long time. You talked about the disappointment any year you don't win a Grey Cup, but given the context, where does this one rank among all those years you've spent with this organization?
Yeah, disappointing. The last couple of years, I felt going into Winnipeg, we were the, I don't know, the young cousin, the young brother that just needed a little bit more because those were the guys. You know what I mean? I don't want to compare the Bombers to the Oilers team. You know what I mean? The teams in the early '80s that just dominated, and it took time to get over the hump because they're a good football team. And this year, I just felt, last year our expectations were to get back and just beat Winnipeg, but as we saw, there are other teams. Everyone's trying to get better, and everyone did get better. And so it's just disappointing that we weren't able to take that next step and go into Winnipeg and show them that we can win, because we beat every team in this league. I mean, if you look at beating Montreal twice, beating Winnipeg early in the year, I mean, those are tough games that our guys were able to do, but unfortunately we just weren't able to keep it going.
There was a lot of discussion about the financials when you brought in Rourke and Betts mid-season. Do you expect that this team will have finished over the salary cap?
Will we be over the salary cap? Yes. Where that I don't know yet. We have to put all the beans in a basket and figure out where we're at. But I believe we will be over. I just don't know where that's going to land.
When you look at the quarterback situation, obviously you can't keep both of them. And Nathan's contract might be very, very difficult to move. It feels like the organization made a decision in August that Nathan was going to be the long-term quarterback here. So how robust do you expect the market for VA to be?
We're not there yet. There's still teams playing. There's still teams that are going to need a quarterback. So both those quarterbacks will be able to be moved. We just have to make a decision on which one.
For you personally, and JC talked about just the length of time you've been here, and asked this to Rick. Whenever a team underperforms, regardless of who that team is, ownership, the president, they're going to look at the future and ask some difficult questions. Mm-hmm. So when you meet with Dwayne and Amar, which I assume will happen at some point soon, and you make the case for why the current setup is the way to go, with you at GM or co-GM, what do you say?
Those are discussions I'll have with those guys. I mean, again, all I can say is this team underperformed, and we all underperformed because we had high expectations, and it's not easy moving forward, but we feel that we have the group that can move forward to be a good football team in this league.
When you talk about underperforming, how do you assess some of the players on your roster that had very different rates of production at different phases of the year?
Yeah, it's tough because, you know what, there's a human aspect to all this too. I mean, believe me, these players have high expectations moving in for themselves, and they know, what it's like to just not be there anymore, right? And so, again, we're going to sit back and we're talking to every player, having discussions with them all, not just contractually, but, and I've said this before, this is like a family. Guys have family issues, right? We only see, or you guys only see the on-field product, but all these guys go through all sorts of things that we all go through as families, and so it's tough to, we sit down and talk to all of them, but like I said, we'll figure it out, and we'll move forward with a better football team next year, and that's what they pay us to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.